Maybe the Transcendental meditation helped out with that. I know he was an avid guy.
I think there's so many ways to get there, whatever it is, whether it's meditation or what have you. I don't think, and again, this is coming from an idiot. I know nothing. I don't think that there's one singular way to get there, because I found that there are people in life who can get there so many different ways, and it's just about what works for you.
Have you dabbled in meditation at all, or?
Yeah, I need to more.
I do too. I get bored too quickly though.
And I think it's a heavy discipline too.
My ADHD brain I get sidetracked quick. But I feel like it would be really beneficial for me if I actually did try to get into it.
I think sometimes I do it without purposefully doing it too. I would just kind of get in a state sometimes where I think about something for a while, and then I realize what I'm doing. Now, I don't know that that's the same as Transcendental meditation. I've talked to some people who practice, and it's a little more disciplined than that. And I think it's worth doing, and I should do it. I just haven't. Mm-hmm. But I think it's probably a worthwhile thing to do.
For sure. Yeah.
I like taking psychedelics too, and
nice.
trying to enlighten myself more that way, and not necessarily in like a party thing either, but like of really trying to learn and know as much about yourself as you can, or to experience more. And,
for sure. I think that is one of the reasons I like music so much, is because it is kind of its own form of a meditative state.
It puts you in that place.
Especially like I've always been like infatuated with like improvisational music. And I think that's part of the reason, is because there is like a certain...
There's a place
I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. There is a place you go to, like this certain state of mind you hit when you're at your peak performance of improvisation, that is just like this meditative state where there's like nothing in your brain anymore, and you almost like transcend to this
you're a vessel at that point.
I know you know what I'm talking about. Yeah.
I do think, and this is going to sound hyperbolic, but it's true. I think that if there's a point of life, if there's a meaning to all of this, I think it's that.
Yeah.
I think whatever it is.
And I think there's a lot of different ways to get to that,
yeah.
but like
to me, like I do a lot of jiu-jitsu. That's a big part of my life, and it's the same thing with that. When you are just in the moment and you're present, it is literally the exact same feeling as when you're playing with a phenomenal band and everyone is present.
Yeah.
And you're not thinking about anything. You're just living in that moment. I do think that's I think
your brain is empty and you're just like,
that's what it's,
because
whatever it is.
It's so difficult to entirely focus on something where like you get to this state where there's literally nothing in your brain besides the thing that you're doing. And
well, I think in the same way that Lynch hit the subconscious that way in film, Thelonious Monk does the same thing for me when it comes to music. Like, totally. I'll listen to his, not only are his pieces kind of written that way, but like when you hear him improvise through it, or like I was just listening to Straight No Chaser not long ago, and I'd never realized that he's like humming the things that he's playing in the background.
You
start hearing him.
A lot of guys do that. Same if you listen to like
man.
Oscar Peterson recordings. You'll always hear some like faint humming in the background, like being picked up the mics.
And that's why I think, I think jazz is America's greatest musical form. I think country songs are my favorite songs, and I think it all kind of ties in together. But those great jazz players are just the greatest, to me, musicians of all time.
I agree.
And the way that they express themselves, and it's not boxed in. It's totally like how they
just
are.
From an improvisational perspective, like it's basically like the peak. Did you like that clip? Well, if you did, you should go check out the full podcast. I hate my day job and I'm trying to quit, so go subscribe because that'll help me do that. Thanks.